This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com. This show is brought to you by Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza. Production services by Sidekick Media Services. And listeners like you, supporting us at patreon.com/awesomecast. It's time to get geeky, get awesome. It is the AwesomeCast. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on Twitter here in the Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, not in another state as I have been very recently, mostly in a lot of places. And I am excited. And I'm hoping this is coming through. I think we have a little bit of lip sync delay. I don't know if something because when I reset this up. So if you're on video, let me know if everything's coming through good. But we have with us a surprise Chilla in studio, John Chichilla. Hello.
I'm not used to I'm looking at the TV.
Yeah, I know we have a whole TV. There you go. There you came back.
I'm a name, but not a picture.
Yes, your name. There you go. That's your name.
Whoa.
There you are. See, you can see all the graphics. I have a TV that stays there so you can see it on the couch now. Fantastic, right?
Mm-hmm. It's very impressive.
We've had Chilla didn't even know that we had a new studio space. So
there's rooms.
Yes, we have more than one room that is ours, and we don't share with other people. It's great. It's fantastic. Also with us, also from the road, she did not want to leave her house anymore. She is the Dudders is with us.
I needed a break from Sorg. Sorry, guys.
I love you. She has 1 day away from me after 15 days on the road, and then I have to make her come on to the podcast. So,
yep, here begrudgingly.
Begrudgingly, it's like, oh no, I have to deal with him again. After I got to go on
and
the
I'm
road
the only one
again.
who has to listen to your intro music on this whole.
Yes, because our routing is not something got wonky last time we hooked the board back up. So
there's a message that says Twitch says it's wrestling mayhem.
Oh well, sure, it's Twitch. Whatever.
We can be wrestling. We can wrestle and cause mayhem.
Sure,
we can swear in Mayhem Show.
We can't swear on Mayhem Show. We're not the no. That'll be later. That'll be later. I didn't log into the wrong one. But anyways, really, you're seeing that? Oh, there it is. Hello from the West Coast. Amanda's joining us on the Twitch over on Sorgatron Media, and we are live. We have the Twitter Spaces going on my account. We're on Twitter. We're on YouTube. And I don't know, a couple other places. Facebook. There's some people on Facebook too. But anyways, so this is the AwesomeCast. You can check out everything at awesomecast.com. Email us at awesomecast@sorgatronmedia.com. Tweet us at AwesomeCast, and please join the wrestling. AwesomeCast Facebook group, the Discord, or the Reddit for some more conversation, or where I'll be asking questions about what computer I'm going to get. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But anyways, you can also subscribe to the show on your favorite podcast player. Also, Sorgatron Media Master Feed has been a little bit late because we've been on the road, but that'll be picking up here as we're finally going to be home. Relatively for the next foreseeable future. And, of course, we are live every Tuesday, no matter where we might be, at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on all those places I mentioned earlier, video, and sometimes Spaces if I can get the hookup. In case you just want an audio situation. And also, thank you to our audio partners at postindustrial.com for sharing the awesomeness as well. And, of course, thank you so much to our Patreon supporters. The Patreon supporters got a little bit of preview. So, of course, we've been social meeting Autodrive Challenge, which we'll probably talk about here in a little bit, that Katie and I have both attended. But they also got special pictures that we have not shown the public, mostly of Katie presenting Dudders worldwide to an audience of me. So that is this kind of stuff that we send out for you guys that support the show, and thank you so much because it does help keep the servers running here, as we have recently had to upgrade our servers, unfortunately, for the podcast. Thank you to our friends at the executive producer level, Brian Crawford, as well as at the coffee club level, Matt Weller, John Carmen, Cynthia Klosky, Scott McTaggart, Mike Pound, and at the fan of the show level, Michael Fedor, Professor Buzzkill, and Dave Potter. Did I talk about Michael's tweet last week? I can't remember that we're talking about where he said that if you want to follow somebody on Twitter that are going to exotic locations And it was right before our next destinations were Rochester and Michigan. And I'm like, no, don't follow us right now. So this is not going to be terrible. Yeah, exotic. Well, check out my Ann Arbor hotel room. So, actually, it did turn out a little more exotic than I expected to on Sunday, didn't it, Katie? But we can talk about that. But thank you, everybody that is supporting us. You can support us, too, at patreon.com/awesomecast. If you're new to the show, I know some people subscribed to us, I think, this week that we met up in Michigan. So we'll see what that does to the numbers. So, but anyways, and special shout out to our friends at Penn State who are amazing all week, by the way. We've seen them at the last couple of events, and they were just so much fun. And we BS'd a lot with that. I don't know. It was just good to see like the home state boys and girls of Penn State out there in action. And we've seen them in a lot of the competitions lately. So good to see that. I feel like I haven't in years past, and like in the other Formula and Baja events as well. So it was really, really good to see. So let's get into our awesome things of the week. And of course, Partners and Kraus are hanging out in the chat room. Yeah, awesome hat. Yeah, I'm wearing my Autodrive hat because just my hair's a mess from all the windows down today. Katie's turning into Dr. Johnny Fever in Slack. What? What's happening? I don't know what that means.
Don't worry about it.
I think I need to pull up the Slack, apparently. Chilla, let's start with you before we go into check out our trip mode, okay?
To Autodrive.
To Autodrive, yes. Wait, what happened to my dock disappeared? Like,
it's gone.
everything disappeared after my post in here. I'm going to reload it and see what happens. While I'm trying to load that, Chilla, what is your awesome thing?
My awesome thing of the week is a new... So TP-Link makes a lot of at-home automation type stuff. They announced new outlets back at CES, and they were delayed, and now they're out. This is from their Casa line, and it is a slim smart Wi-Fi plug mini with energy monitoring and Apple HomeKit, the EP25. They come in at a whopping $12.50 per plug when you buy 4.
Oh.
So you're laying down $50, but you're getting 4 plugs. And what I really like about these, and I've had ones kind of like this, is A, there's an on-off button on the side of it, and B, it's not that they're slim from like the thickness perspective, they're slim from the height perspective. So I don't know if you can scroll like part way down the
There you
article.
go. There we
shows
are.
It's plugged into the wall.
I finally got it up. I don't know. The dock is doing something very weird on my computer right now. So
it allows you to still access the other plug, or if these were plugged into a surge protector, you would still be able to use the other plugs. And 4 for $50 is not bad at all, which is pretty darn nice. So like if you whatever you need to plug into it, you can plug into it. It's going to monitor its energy consumption, and you should be good to go. And if you think about it, like, hey, if you had 2 lamps in a living room or 2 lamps in a bedroom, you can do more than just that because you have 4 of these things. So they are claiming they are going to come out with a 2-pack. The 2-pack is going to be $30. So they're bumping up to $15 if you only want 2.
Okay.
And that's not coming till the end of the year. So go out and buy 4 of these things, plop down the $50, and they can work with HomeKit, Alexa, and any of the Google equipment.
Okay. Nice. I need some. Actually, I think I need to extend my Wi-Fi is my problem lately because I put plugs in the back here and the Wi-Fi is right here, so it's not going to work. So I'm actually looking for a good extender.
That should reach.
We have a couple computers, like it's barely reaching. You know what I mean? And I don't trust that little cheap plug that I have to be able to go that far. I think that's the problem I was having in my house too. Was it wasn't going through the steel walls that I realized like a couple years ago. So that's nice. TP-Link, $50 for a 4-pack. I think that's cheaper than even what I got with those ones. So, but that's a good make. That's not some kind of weird Chinese, who knows what's in it kind of thing, right?
That's correct. In fact, TP-Link was one of the first companies that made a switch that you could easily wire up to, and I'm not even going to remember what they're called. Like if you had 2 switches in a room, and like both switches controlled the same lamp, but they worked independently. Whatever that is.
Okay. Awesome.
So yeah, they make really good equipment.
So we'll be looking at. I might be adding that to a cart. So
What do we say when we're having a bad day?
Add to cart. We just heard a fantastic story about some retail therapy with one of our visitors here today. I love this. This feels like the good old days. Random people are coming into the studio. We're hearing good stories. I'm rushing to set up the show because I definitely listened to the stories too long, and there's still a party going on in the back room right now. I love having rooms as well. So it just feels so good. And there's a train in the neighborhood. Sorry. I literally saw it one day before I started traveling, and I was still recovering and thought it wasn't real. So anyways, Katie, we were surrounded by technology this past week, but you had a very special technology experience.
I win.
You won the technology game, didn't you?
I did. So we were up in MCity. Mm-hmm. For Autodrive these past how many days? I'm not even sure. I'm like, what day is it? Where am I? And we've been for how long now?
We were up there for 7 days.
Oh, jeez. Wow. Okay, yeah. So we were in Ann Arbor for 7 days at MCity, which is like a little city. It has street lights. It's a super cool thing. We talked about it before. And I was taking some photos. Sorg was doing some video on the day of competition, and we just happened to look over. And this sign, it says Verizon something or another on this tower next to us. And it was like, what's going on here? And we've been throughout this whole trip and all of our trips, Sorg and I frequently do speed tests to see, who's, how's the Wi-Fi going, or how are, Verizon versus, you have Sprint, right?
What? No,
AT&T.
I'm AT&T.
AT&T. Oh, that's right. Yeah, we looked at. Never mind. We were talking about. Never mind. I'm thinking of your multi dude. That's why.
Yeah. That's that thing has a T-Mobile chip too now. So yes,
you have.
It has Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile, and then but we're not getting into my failure on Sunday. So there was oh man, Chilla. Let me tell you afterwards. Maybe we'll do a gold afterwards about everything that failed on Sunday night, and we still pulled off the show. But anyways, back to you. Back to you.
Yeah. So yeah, we're standing there, and I'm like, let's do a speed test. He's like, what do you got? So I do a speed test, and my download was 3,057.
Here it is. Here's a visual for you guys. Here's the full number.
It's 3,057, 3057 for download, and 311 for upload. Mm-hmm. What Mbps stands for? What, Chilla, again?
Megabits per second.
Thank you. But yeah, so this is unreal. I don't know at what point, I don't know where you'd find something like that ever again. And normally, we're in a couple hundred, we're excited. But 3,000 is very impressive.
And the thing is, and I want to try to pull up a picture in a second. You were directly under the antenna, right? This is a road, a highway sign. Like the highway, truss that goes across the highway that has an exit sign on it, because it was a highway portion of MCity that simulated that idea, right? And so you were probably the closest to a cellular antenna that you have probably ever physically been that you've known of, right?
Yes. Yeah. And that sounds worse when you say it like that. But I was pulling in speed 695, 358, and the hotel Wi-Fi was 92, 10, whatever. But 3,057 was the record. I'm looking again. So we took several because we're maybe that's not it. And it was really fun to watch it be in a regular, just plain old LTE. And then I would run the speed test, and then I was 3G ultra wide. I'm all right, cool. So it turned it up a notch and was trying to show off. I did not try to download anything, which was my fault. Because we said
we should just download it all on Netflix.
Yeah, so you were trying to download on Netflix, weren't you?
Not when we were next to it. That was at another spot where I was back into something pretty solid. But no, unfortunately, we did not try that.
Here's a shot of you, and you can see in the background, if you're with us on video, you're holding up the thing after you did one of those speed tests, and there's the antenna right there in the middle on that truss. Actually, look on both sides of the truss up there, right? I love Mike Zeman, who's been on Awesome Chat with us, who's one of the technology people that helps with the scoring tech that gets implemented during. And he just like kind of looked at us and says, well, enjoy being infertile. Because we were so close to the antennas. So, and there was like a warning, but it was like up on the post, like 20 feet high. It's like, I'm not reading that, right? So like it's the one because I know I walk by the antennas up here in the Green Street Park a lot, right? And I see all the warning signs are there on the fence. The fence, not halfway up the damn tower. So that was an interesting experience. Katie, there was a lot of technology this week with Autodrive, and I'll throw some photos up here as we go and start talking about things if I can keep up. But we got to talk about the Escalade, because you were really interested in that.
Yes, and I was like, I'm gonna run to the restroom, and at this point, they pulled up the most expensive and exciting Escalade, Cadillac Escalade I've ever seen in my life. And I was just like, come see, come see Cadillac. I don't remember what I said.
Again,
but it was just like,
this was a General Motors event.
Yeah.
General Motors are hiring these kids from this event. This is a recruiting event. This is an education and recruiting event, right? For automated cars, level 4 video cars. Sorry, I was doing video all week. So they bring out the toys, okay? First of all, they got the car there that they're going to use, which is a Bolt EV, which they're going to have the 2022 Bolt EV. They had the 23 out there to show them, hey, you're going to get this. And I actually got to sit there while the guy was saying, hey, we're going to cut through this and do the CAD thing and blah, 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 which was really cool in talking about that process. But then they brought out an electric Hummer and this Escalade, and I can't remember if there's anything else. There was some kind of a Lyric that they brought out that was from the test track. It looked like it had been beat up on the test track. But somebody was telling me about it and was trying to explain it to me. I was really excited about it. So I didn't grasp all of what that was. And I'm sure car people out there are like, holy shit, a Lyric, But maybe we do swear on this show. But anyways,
that was our swear.
The Escalade, I think most of our Penn State friends got in there, and there's a shot at the end about being excited about working around young people that gets mentioned, and it's the one guy being really, really excited because he just went for a ride in the Escalade, right? So we've been sending pictures of the Hummer and the Escalade to Missy back here and says, this is our new sidekick mobile to get all of our equipment everywhere. Katie, what were the highlights that you were getting from the enthusiastic crew?
So like some of the cool things, this is kind of, I don't want to be like, this is kind of standard, but the chairs had a massager in it. It had the center console had the refrigeration in the center console. So if you had something that you wanted to keep cold as you were driving, some things that like we hadn't seen before. If you saw any of the Apple announcement where they showed the new CarPlay with the extended LCD screen and the AR map essentially in front of you where you could see where you were going, that was it. It was already doing this, which was amazing to see. And they also, so the car does drive on its own, and there's a little sensor on the top of the steering wheel that keeps track of your eyes to make sure that you're still paying attention. But heard the story, did not get to see it, but the car will decide when to change lanes if you put your turn signal on.
Right.
They were driving down the highway, put on the left turn signal. The car at that time was next to a semi, which I can't even imagine the fear. Like, what are you doing? And so they put the left turn signal on. The vehicle realized it could not merge over because of the semi, sped up and got in front of the semi all by itself, which is amazing. And
then pulled back over, right? Pulled back over after passing the next car, like by itself. So like when we talk about automated, it's kind of creeping in, right? Like my mom's Subaru has all this stuff, right? And I felt like I was mostly hands off all the way to Myrtle Beach. This is even more, and of course it's the super expensive thing. This is going to trickle down, right? Hopefully, I was talking to Missy today. I'm like, this is stuff we're going to see in 10 years in our, if we get an Equinox or a Ford Escape or something, right? Versus, we're not going to see this unless we pick that special row at the Hertz Rent-A-Car Presidente Circle.
That would be amazing. That's it.
There are options. Sometimes I'm looking and like, there's like a caddy over there. I'm, tempted. But like, they'll pay for this, right? This won't flag them, right? They definitely don't give me a car budget, so
It's unlimited.
It's unlimited? No, there's a limit somewhere. There's a food limit. There's got to be a rental limit. But anyways, so and by the way, we're getting a lot of feedback. Apparently, we did not invite the right people on the show to talk about cars.
Oh yeah, they're all in the.
They are all in the chat right now,
chat
and they're all people that have contributed to the show. San Diego Steve, it's gonna stick. I'm trying to figure out Amanda's new name. She's hanging out on the Twitch, by the way. The E-Hummer is supposed to be a 2023 release. There's a guy in Scott Township that has a YouTube channel and has a deposit on one for its release. Oh man, that's a caddy with the lyric. It's an all-electric vehicle. Yeah, I didn't get to investigate it terribly much either. So wow, that's awesome. Oh geez, what else? You know, I mean, I know it was like 5 days of just seeing kids work on carts with sensors on them and computers. Was there anything from that? This is the first time you got to see in action the sleds. I know we had Mike Zeman on years ago talking about the stuff that they built, right? The sleds with the deers and the pedestrians on them that we've shown before. What did you think, having seen the full MCity experience that I've got a few opportunities to see at this point?
Oh, it's super cool, and like to see the technology that the kids are building. Mm-hmm. And being able to see, because there a few of them were able to show us, like Toronto especially was one that was like, come look at our screen, mm-hmm. and you can see where their cart is reading the lines. Like there goes the deer, and it's funny because at one point they were joking about what one of the students walked in front of their cart, and they're like, it's reading you as a car, and he's just like patting his stomach like.
Well, he had,
it was an insult.
And he had an antenna sticking out of the back of his pocket, so he thought maybe it was seen as an antenna or two or something like that, right? Yeah. So the other,
he was like took it as an offense. It was so funny to like listen to them talk about that.
Oh, they were fun. They were a lot of fun. Well, and also, what was the other one? Because they're talking about data sets and how you recognize things, like you machine learning. You pump a bunch of images in of something. Like we want to see what a deer. Yes. Yeah, you heard this too. We wanted, we bought a one online and insert, or it was a free data set. Right, and it's all pictures of deers, and then we inserted it, and then it started recognizing yield signs as a deer and identifying it wrong, and then we started looking at the data set, and it was all like half of it were memes, and they had to go through by hand through the data set and delete the junk, and ended up with I think it was like a third of it they got to keep. Of 1,000. I think it was like 5,000 images. They kept 800 or something, right?
Oh no, they deleted thousands.
They deleted thousands.
It was like 23,000 or something. It was like in tens of thousands. And then they ended up having to delete thousands. And like that poor person.
And they only had like hundreds left, I think. Mm-hmm. So it was wild, but it was interesting to see. And this is what I love about these competitions, because I feel like I'm technology adjacent. I'm not an engineer, but I love hearing what kinds of problems they get to solve. And again, these are college students. They're not grads even. These are freshmen, junior, sophomore, senior tops, right? And that's really, really incredible. And the GM people that are there coaching them, and hearing them talking about sometimes how they solve problems and relating that to the kids. Is a really, really cool thing. There's a lot about project management that was happening. It doesn't sound exciting, but it's important, right? And of course, several people from General Motors got to speak at the awards ceremony, and you got like a lot of insight about their thoughts about how things go, and they're working on. Every time I go to one of these events, I learn something new that's very, very, very cool that they're working on that I didn't know about. So I also don't read the car websites or anything like that, right? So it's really cool to see that and kind of get integrated with that, embedded with that, if you will. That was kind of how I started thinking about that. We're like embedded journalists or something, right? Mm-hmm. We're in the trenches, waiting out the carts, waiting to see if the deer is going to go, making TikToks maybe. So we had a lot of time to think about things, and that's why the video turned out so good at the end. You can see the highlight reel. It's part of the there's an award ceremony over on the SAE Collegiate Design Series YouTube page, and I'm going to be adding some more stuff from the award ceremony to the highlight reel But it's in the first few minutes of that video right now as it stands. If you want to see a little bit of what that did look like, or just my social media from this last week, right? So, but yeah. And did I show you, Chilla? Did you see the carts? Did we show that last week?
I don't think I saw the carts last week, but I saw the carts. You posted some pictures. I saw the video.
Oh, yeah, I was showing you a little bit of the
me
video earlier, wasn't I? So for those curious, here is a picture of one of the carts here. This is actually Toronto's cart, and they had the most elaborate setup with like a backlight or something going on too, right? And they're just work tool, they're C-Tech tool chests, right? And they embedded their computers in there. So they have power supplies in there so they can move from spot to spot. And they had like these long extension cords at each of these spots, right? And you see the technology at the top. There's all kinds of lidars and cameras and sensors I probably don't know about that they have access to all this equipment. And a lot of them use things in various ways. There's another one, that's Wisconsin, that's the cow one. And it was really cool to kind of see how a lot of that worked. Yeah, go
so
ahead.
you were saying, like, the first time they come and they do like the animal identification, the other car identification, then the car gets introduced. What's the time span between those? Is it
a year?
A year?
Yeah, they have a year from now. We will be doing year 2 of Autodrive, and they will have put sensors on the cars, and they will be doing things where the car will have to move and react to things. Likely, I don't know, but likely it's going to be stop at a stop sign, stop at a light, stop in response to a moving pedestrian. Things of that nature likely are what they're going to do next year.
So if you were a junior in this part of the competition,
if you're a freshman in this part of the competition,
you could go
all 4 years. And so that's the other challenge, right? Because now you have your team members dropping off. I remember year 2 of the first Autodrive. I talked to somebody that works for GM. He was there again this year. He was a student at year 1. I could not go to year 1 because we were at UMA Proving Grounds and I did not have clearance. And he was back, and still he's like, I learned a lot from the first year. I'm coaching my team and the other teams, going forward. Like that's the kind of thing that's happening. Even though you're not going through the entire process, you were still there for a section and learned something. Again, much like the Baja and the formula, you don't have to be number 1 to get hired. Okay. You have to prove that you did a thing, right? And this is a giant proof of concept. And that's the line that I get from all my interviews through all these competitions is, I'm not in a classroom, I'm actually applying this stuff that I'm learning. And that is, one person says, I now understand what it means to be an engineer and all the stuff that goes into that. And that's really, really cool. So that's why I am completely cool with doing this from year to year and have since 2016. So, but it's a really interesting competition, and you're seeing people do some very, very cool stuff. So awesome. Hey, you know what else is cool? First of all, Chilla being here in the studio. There it is.
There's me.
Yay. And laughing coming from the back room and hearing a train go by, because I know I'm home and I know I can get my taste buds on some Slice on Broadway, New York City style, Yinzer made, right up the street in Beachview, in Carnegie, in the East End, in the North Hills. And what's this I hear? I hear rumor that they're coming down to the South Side. I believe in the South Side Works, I was told, right? And anyone else hear this rumor?
I did not hear that. Where
I
are they
heard
going?
A rumor. Tommy told me they're going in the South Side Works. So confirmed. Who told us that?
Me, I did.
Was that you? You're the one. Hi. You're the source is right here.
Where are they going at?
Breaking news. CNN won't do breaking news, but we will. Breaking news. Slice on Broadway going to the South Side. Katie with the story.
So they're so the South Side Works is setting up kind of this outdoor space, and Slice on Broadway is going to be one of the, I guess you would call them vendors down there doing. I don't know if it's a permanent fixture, but they'll be down here at least the summertime.
Fantastic. Oh, a test run maybe, a little experimentation, a little pizza experimentation. But no, go check out our friend Slice on Broadway. Great stuff. Great to be back. It's better than that Detroit pizza. That's for damn sure. Jeez. I don't think did we have pizza in Detroit? Oh, we did.
No, we did not.
We had wood-fired pizza. I do not believe that was Detroit style, whatever that means. No, but we did have wood-fired pizza. But it was not Slice on Broadway. Now, if Slice on Broadway introduced a wood-fire version, I wouldn't hate that. Wouldn't hate that idea. A coal fire. That's how they're gonna mix it up, right? There you go. Free tips. Free tips. You can have this. You have this. I don't want anything for it except for some of your pizza. Alrighty, we have a few stories from today. Let's touch on. Let's do some quick video game news. Xbox had their showcase today, and there was a lot of stuff. There's interesting. I'll try out some games. A lot of Game Pass stuff. You know, that's their big push. And everybody, like the PlayStation did their stuff too. I know Riz has been telling me about a little bit about PlayStation Plus, Premium Plus, or whatever it is. He was very excited about that. No, it was not over an instant pizza in Detroit Potter. But anyways, but one thing I am very excited about is Forza Horizon 5 Hot Wheels. I saw the video of this, and it's going to be an add-on for Forza Horizon 5, which is on Game Pass, but I don't think this will be. I think this might be a pay add-on, even if you have Game Pass. But this is. Hold on. Oh no, is this there? Wait, there it is. You get to drive on the orange tracks, and it looks tremendous. And there's a track builder mode and everything. So I don't know if you guys did the orange track Hot Wheels as a kid, but that was a big favorite of mine. You know, definitely nothing looked like this, but or multiple cars around or anything like that. Or wasn't there a He-Man set that was one of these from Hot Wheels? So that's kind of my big takeaway from that. Other than that and that and Flight Simulator has a lot of interesting stuff going on too. So Chilla, did you catch any of this today?
I did not catch any of that, but did I see? It looked like, because I had those orange tracks, and like some of them actually had the things on the sides that would spin to like speed your car up, and it looked like on the one part of the track there was a section where they ran over and it was gray and it would speed them up. That's what I remember.
Nice. Yes. Oh, the motor wheel thing. I didn't have the fancy ones. I just had a box of orange tracks.
Okay.
That I think we got from a yard sale, and I just did whatever I could with it. Right. Mm-hmm. So, Katie, did you guys have the Hot Wheels tracks growing up?
We did a little bit. Like, we weren't really super into Hot Wheels, but I remember having the tracks, and I mostly remember the color changing cars that you put in water. But that was what I was into and all that.
Yes, those were the great ones, right? Nope.
We had a lot of micro machines. We were we were a micro machine family.
What? Aren't those a choking hazard nowadays?
But see, micro machines are back. This is what This is what perplexed us, because we found, what was it, Katie? Transformers micro machines.
Yes, at Target. We had the most magical Target I've ever seen for toys.
They had everything. They had all kinds of Transformers. But Transformers are so weird because they had the micro machines, but they're just the cars. They don't transform. And then you have like the Transformers like action figures that don't transform from the robot form. It's like, what are we doing here? So I don't know.
Someone got lazy there. They should make them where they transform, and they're tiny.
They're the cheap versions. I know, like that's the here's your Optimus Prime. I was like, but how does he truck? I can't truck him. Yeah. Also, there's like 100 Optimus Primes, whereas Katie was the lucky kid that had an Optimus Prime. I learned as we were going through the Strong Museum. You were that kid that I was jealous of growing up. Look at you. Did you have it? Just like how my cousins had the Megatron that looked like a gun that I think they only sold for so long.
I had the one that was the tape cassette player.
Your tape cassette player. I got one of those around now, but he was definitely a little worse for wear. Although still going for $70 at Steel City Con. In the same condition that I have is pretty astonishing. I should probably put those things in better places. So anyways, I'm looking for doing a basement cleanse, not a cleanse, a cleaning, an organization sort of thing maybe in the future. So Pittsburgh news in the video game front, not from the showcase, but I loved this video that came up in my Facebook feed from Shell Games. We should reach out to Shell Games so we can get them on the show because they seem like they're pretty cool from the bits I've seen. And actually, I've seen them at some VR stuff before. But they apparently were involved in the VR version of Among Us. And there's a fun little video over on Facebook and a bunch of other places, I'm sure, where there's a nice little like kind of first person, third person story video, that cinematic video that they have going on there. But I presume that this is going to look a lot like this in VR. Chilla, I think you're the most VR experience of us here. Is that something you're looking to get into?
I'm interested to see how they do that. Like, because I didn't see that, but do they make it where like I have to turn the crank with my hands, or
well, you
like,
see, there's like the buttons and things like that. So I think things are kind of, well, there's some more samples that are going on here. Yeah, it looks like just buttons and things, and hold your hand here and things like that. Let me see if I can back this up.
But like there's the ones where you have to hook the wires up to the correct colors.
Yeah. So they're obviously going to adapt, to things like that. Look, there's like a whack-a-mole kind of situation there, right?
I would play that. I'll be interested to see like how well. That's going to be weird because like that game is kind of top down and it's easy to see where you're going and remember where things are room to room because you can kind of see the next room,
and you can't see somebody coming up behind you.
Now you're going to be all stuck.
Yep, absolutely. So looking forward to that. Katie, have you played much Among Us? Did you get into those games with us?
No, I don't think we ever ended up actually playing. I think we tried to, or I was trying to, and then whatever. Life.
Katie, we're playing Among Us on the road. Okay, we're doing this. It's free for.
Do it.
We'll be playing some. So we'll do Among Us game night here in the next couple nights.
Yes.
Sadly, no.
Sorg is sus.
What did we see that was like sus something? I feel like I was like Rochester or something. It was like sus cleaning or something like that, and we're like,
not hiring them.
Nope. Let's see here. What else do we have going on in the what's kind of got you guys' attention out here? I guess I only have a couple stories in here, don't I? Grammy Awards added a video game score category. I believe this was the Riz that put this one in the rundown here. So, I mean, that makes sense. Why is that not in there already for between Halo and everything like that, right?
Right, because like some of the most beautiful music has come from video games, like any of the Final Fantasies or Kingdom Hearts. I mean, there's a whole list of them.
Did you get to attend the video games live when they came through with the symphony?
No.
That was an experience. They had a choir, which was amazing during the Halo song. And then, I forget the guy's name, Tallarico, that did a lot of video game music. He used to do a lot of shows on G4. I think Electric Playground he was a part of. He would come out, and he pretty much was the host, but he also, like, he'd just come out rocking a guitar whenever a guitar was needed or something like that. And meanwhile, it's like the Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra. Like, they do it with the local symphony, right? And they had video screens and everything like that. I really wish something like that would come around. And I know we got like Zelda and Final Fantasy tours still going on, I guess, too, right? So it was really, really. Also, to see everybody video gamed up in the symphony, where you're just used to the stuffiness, right? And this was not that. So I feel like we haven't had something like that come through in a long, long time. Or it's a Zelda one that gets sold out in like 10 minutes. So, I can't plan ahead anymore. That's my problem these days. Let's see.
I didn't put a link in the doc, but did you see? I almost forgot about this. Microsoft tomorrow. It's a big day. No more Internet Explorer support. And it was just short of its 27th birthday too.
Oh,
Internet Explorer was going to be 27.
So young. Man.
But so IE11, the desktop app for Windows 10.
Jeez.
It's a goner as a June 15th.
Wait. They actually still were supporting it on Windows 10?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because there's a lot of companies that
that's it.
That have like sites that
probably like hospitals and things.
ActiveX controls and Flash. Not really Flash, but it is kind of funny.
Flash.
Interesting.
Katie, what are you doing? What are you doing?
There's things happening behind the computer.
She's
Oh.
There's a
animating
cat,
her sprites.
and she's at eye
in
level,
Flash.
and it's so funny. She just yawned and looked at me. I was like, I'm sorry.
What else we got here? Photoshop on the web, free in Canada, more regions to come. I believe that was a Dave Podner post from our Facebook group. I'm sorry. So this is not what we had. We've had this here now, right? And this has been part of the Adobe suite, I believe. I've been waiting for web Photoshop for a while. I could have used that years ago. What was a Pixelmator or something that we used in the web? Pixlr. I used that because they wouldn't buy Photoshop at the company I was working with 1 day a week. So I was like, okay, how do I do your podcast graphics while I'm here? Kind of situation. And I don't think I had Photoshop yet, actually. So anyways, it wasn't subscription back then, I guess. So I don't know. You guys interested in that access? I don't know. I feel like we have all the tools at our disposal at this point, don't we? Katie, you're probably the most Photoshop-y person. I don't think that would work for your workflow when you're
No.
editing like 2,000 photos from
No.
brough.
No.
So, but it's still accessible. That's good. That's good. It introduces people to it too. Not like back in the day when I don't know how many people actually paid for Photoshop at the Institute.
There was
How long I kept an
generators,
old laptop just because it had photos.
a working
and-
version of Photoshop.
Yeah, I was like, can't update it, can't do anything with it.
I'm
because my laptop.
so proud of my boxed copy of Adobe Photoshop. Can't tell you what version it was. It's still sitting in the home studio, and I think I got it for $20
Where?
because I was working with a nonprofit that hooked me up. I was doing work for the nonprofit, used it for that, and they used their discount because you could go to those websites and stuff, and proof of and all that kind of stuff, and they're like, yeah, we'll send it to you. So actually, I don't think I even paid for it. I think they just sent me a copy because they're like, this is nothing. Let's just do this. It's like, good. Thank you so much. And that's why I voted for that person when they ran for office. No,
Isn't that a bribe?
they were all, no, this is before she ran. This was like 8 years before she ran for office. So, but anyways, let's see what else we got here. Okay, Chilla's used to this, I'm sure, Katie. Like, actually getting to talk to a representative from a tech company to make the proper pick, So Katie are hanging out by the coffee truck. That makes it sound like we just spent all day by the coffee truck. No, we just visited.
We literally spend all day by the coffee truck.
Was there really good reception and bandwidth there?
No, yes, but because everything is 5G everywhere. All the G's were everywhere. As far as the eye could see, were 5Gs. But okay, one of the partners for Autodrive Challenge, he's been there since I started working with Autodrive, is with Intel. And obviously, he's working with that car computer OEM kind of situation, right? Mm-hmm. Is my understanding. So we're BSing over some free coffee. And I've been investigating. I think I've talked about it on the show. I know I've kind of talked to you guys about it in Slack. The Nooks. They're basically, listen, if you want like a Mac Mini, but it's a PC, this is something that Intel provides. And I've been looking at the Nooks because you can put them in a rack. There's literally one right by Chilla because I preset some stuff up for this weekend. So you see, it's not on camera. But hold on, Chilla. Wait, we could just do this.
I went like this.
That thing over there. You see that thing? I want to put a computer in that. Look, actually, there's a computer in that one, but it's huge. It's huge. It's like that entire bottom part is a full size computer.
That is
basically,
a big computer.
right? I want that, but I want it like this. I want that, but this. I'm making hand motions for everybody on audio. I apologize.
You want to take like a stack of 6 pizza boxes and turn it into like a pack of cigarettes.
Yes, but without the harmful side effects. But anyways, so I'm already looking at the Nooks. So I'm like, hey man, we're talking about stuff and company structure and everything's going on there. And man, aren't chips aren't supply shortages sucky these days, because and he introduced me to the Nook Extreme Chilla. Nook.
The Extreme. They're made by like another company, or like
Are they?
that's a distinct. That's like a brand of the Nuck line.
Yes, exactly. Something like that. Oh, where's the video? It doesn't have the video on this one.
They're the ones with the skulls on them, aren't they?
Yes, it's the one with the skulls on them. Here, let me get
They're
this.
edgy.
Yes, because they're edgy as hell. So I've been looking at these things. It's pretty much good to go. I think you might have to put memory in a hard drive in it, perhaps. But I don't know. It depends. Some of these on Amazon are ready to go. Some of them are like, hey, you need to put like something else in here. They come with Intel graphics. Okay, might be good enough for what I need. But go ahead.
The bigger one,
and that's what this is.
and it's not much bigger. The bigger one like holds like a whole video card in it.
Yes, that's what we're looking at. If you look at the back there, and then the cool thing, that the part on the left where you have the USBs and Ethernets and everything, the CPU, GPU, motherboard is on that, and it looks like, again, I put a video in the Slack. I'm going to see if I can pull it up here. I don't know why it's not on this part of it. It is like, that is a card. That is an insertable like graphics card looking thing too. Why is this not pulling up? The video kind of demonstrates it a little bit more. So like you could ideally like, hey, I got the Nook and I grab this thing separately, or we could Chilla, theoretically, we have our unit and we just and we have our graphics card we want to keep, and we literally just replace the compute part. He said it's a small compute form factor that he's got going on there, and
it would be all serviceable because those have a removable like M2 SSD, like everything in there. They usually they're using the laptop memory, but I mean anything it's going to be completely serviceable to swap out parts or upgrade later, or cobble together whatever you need to cobble together.
I just realized I shared that on Facebook. I'm looking at the wholly wrong place. And it's positioned to be a gaming computer too, right? So if it's positioned to be a gaming computer, it should work for my needs, right? And the cost is not bad. It's actually, I've been looking at Mac Minis, and this is price comparable to a Mac Mini. So you see there on the video, if you're with us there, that card there, that is the Nook Extreme Element. That is the Intel form factor, right? It's got the Wi-Fi, storage, CPU, RAM, because they're using SSDs and everything. Slips right in there into that, like basically just a connector area, like, and then you see like a big honking fan. The graphics card goes in there too. I'm sure cooling will not be an issue. I do feel like I'm probably going to have to put an entire fan system in the box too with it to pull that out. Yeah, and then ideally you could just put all your cords out up front so you can have full access to everything, because everything's all on one side. No, that's got me excited. It was really cool to talk with somebody from Intel about an Intel thing I could be using, since I've been eyeballing those for a bit. So,
did they just have like racks of those in the back of the car?
No. This has nothing to do with Autodrive. No.
Oh, okay. Did you see?
They get something
when they were doing the autonomous vehicles in town, and it was before it was like the Argo AI. Down on Smithfield Street, they had a couple of those cars parked, and the trunk of one of the cars was open, and they were showing like what was under the hood and what was in the trunk and all that kind of stuff. And it was just like this crazy custom made board, and it was like NVIDIA graphics cards. Just like the entire width of the trunk. That's all it was.
Because that's their compute program.
It was all the GPUs.
The GPUs.
They were using all the GPUs off them.
That's because even for video games, you could. NVIDIA did this, AMD, ATI did this, where you could put like two cards in. Actually, this started with Voodoo, didn't it? Which NVIDIA bought, which I forgot about until the Intel guy reminded me. And you could put in two graphics cards, and it would split the load and kind of up your graphics. So no, of course they can do that, right? Just like we have the same thing. There's probably this whole compute program. I bet there's something. No, I bet there's something where you can just stick a bunch of these computes in like a server rack, right? And they're running like full on i9s. And I'm not up on what versions, Grand Canyon or whatever the hell it is, rendition of the core iCores. But anyways, Katie, you'll love this, by the way. Amanda, who, by the way, Steve has designated, I'm going to go with Oceanside Amanda for her new name. Oceanside Amanda's over on Twitch and says she just found her Creative Suite CD when she moved. So, ooh.
Does she have a CD drive to put it in?
That's the question. You know what? By the way, I was pissed. I had a CD player in my hotel room was that Ann Arbor we did that, or was that in Rochester?
Rochester.
Was that Rochester? Okay. We were in Rochester. I had a CD player, but I bought CDs in Nashville, had nothing to play them in. Didn't know I needed to go to the home of Kodak and Xerox in Rochester, New York. By the way, we drove by the Kodak World headquarters. I think we could see it from our hotel, if I'm not mistaken, up there. So, yeah. It's interesting to see a city that fell out from an industry that disappeared that wasn't a steel mill. So, but, yeah, Rochester was interesting. Well, Katie has a pumpkin time.
I do as well. I have a commute.
You have a commute now. It was like, I don't get to go home for another 10 minutes when I leave. So Chilla showed up. I cannot remember if we discussed you being in studio, but I had a gift for you and you had many gifts for me. So, jeez. Well,
I'm excited for mine. I know exactly where mine's going when I get home. I have a special spot. There's a special shelf.
What am I going to do with a third Xbox 360? I'll figure it out. This is going to be right here. When I'm waiting for you guys to get into Zoom, I'm going to be playing some, why did I say Crash Bandicoot? Oh, because we found Crash Bandicoot on Twitter. That's why. This week.
There's your CD player.
There's my my CD player.
You can take it with you everywhere you go.
Oh, man. I'm going to take my DVD of Dogma that I bought in Nashville and play it on this smart TV over here. Okay.
Those are rare. Be careful with those.
The Dogma one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't pay too much for it either. I've been looking for it. I'm pissed I can't get a digital one, and I had a copy, the same kind of set, but the actual movie was like a rip because somebody gave me it because they lost the original disc, right? So I now have the complete box extended edition of Dogma. Nice. I haven't watched it again yet because I haven't been home. So, let alone. Chilla, real quick. Should I get the Xbox S or Series X?
X.
For sure?
I think so.
You think so?
That's the one I got.
Qualification, I do not have a 4K television.
Doesn't matter.
Does it matter? Does faster?
And think of it. One day you'll get a 4K. One day I'll drop a 4K TV off here for you.
That's how I get 4K. When Chilla says, this 4K isn't good enough for me anymore, Sorg needs one. Oh, jeez. I was telling tales of Chilla to some of the geeks at Autodrive.
It can't be that. We can't be that far off from. It's almost more there's going to be a time. There's going to come a time where it's going to be I really need a 1080p TV, but it's more expensive. Because they stopped making them.
These smart TVs in here are 720 because I'm just I just need a monitor.
You just need a monitor, and it's good enough.
Yeah,
I think it looks
we're
great.
Broadcasting at 720. Okay, chill. Katie's getting sick of this. She probably left already. Oh, she did leave already.
She said bye.
She's checked out. Anyways, thank you, Katie. K Dudders on the Twitter. Kate Marie PGH on the Instagram. She got a lot of fun from this week. Chilla at Chilla on the Twitter.
John's Chilla on the Facebook.
Oh, and I sent you a question. I don't know.
Oh
if you
no,
answered.
I didn't because I was. Then I got all kinds of skittish nervous.
What? After show we're gonna do that. Okay,
show.
after show we'll talk about that then because I don't know if it's a surprise for somebody.
Right.
Thank you, everybody. Good to have people back in the studio. Sorry, Katie, we kept running long. Love all the awesomers. We'll see you guys next week. You have been our awesome audience. Have an awesome week. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com.